have played the video game. I absolutely loved it.
This right here is Tom Holland's Spider-Man Commander deck. So in this video, not only am I gonna show you exactly what's in Tom Holland's Spider-Man deck, I'm gonna meet with the expert who can help me figure out how would you build the best and most lethal Spider-Man deck. And not only am I gonna find those cards, build that deck, but you're gonna see me play that deck in real life to see if this deck was actually worth it. And spoiler alert, and this kills YouTube retention, but I don't care. This deck literally crushed it. And not only was it super powerful, but it was literally my strongest deck that I've ever built. Ever. And if you haven't already and you like the effort that I'm putting into these types of videos, it would be dope if you subscribe. Because if you don't, and you see me in person, I will not hesitate to use my Spider-Man deck against you. And I will win. So go subscribe so we can have a good time. Let's get into it. So right off the bat, this is the Tom Holland Commander. When Peter Parker enters, create a 2/1 green spider token with reach. And when you transform him, he becomes the Amazing Spider-Man. This commander costs a white mana, blue mana, green mana, and a colorless. It's a 4/4, but is this card good? And is that a good commander? And I'm just gonna be honest with you right off the bat, no. You can use that as a commander. I mean, if you're having a fun time, you just really want to play like Tom Holland, then by all means, go for it. But if you want to build a strong Spider-Man deck, then I'm stoked that you're watching this video because at the end, you're going to literally see what a strong Spider-Man deck can do. And good Lord, this, just watch into the end because I thought that this was going to be a good deck. But when I played it in real life, it made the whole entire table really scared because this was my strongest deck that they've ever seen me play. Now I do want to show you just a little bit of what actually was in his deck. There's Radioactive Spider, which only costs 1 mana, and it's actually not that bad of a card because it has Reach and Death Touch. This kind of acts like a tutor. And obviously, if you've watched Spider-Man before, you know that he has a huge affinity for Iron Man. So obviously, his Iron Man suit is in the mix. And if you use a lot of artifacts, this card is a really strong card. And side note, if you're playing Toph, the first Metal Bender, I just want to share with you the power that this card can have for Toph. You see, this is literally a Spider-Man deck and I'm getting off topic, but really quick, Toph makes artifacts lands and you earthbend lands every single turn. And on top of that, all you have to do is tap this card and that earthbended land, because it's an artifact, gets a 1/1 counter every single turn. And it's not one artifact. It's every artifact. And okay, I get it. We're not talking about Toph or we're not talking about Avatar. We're talking about Spider-Man. I do have Toph as a commander and oh my goodness, she's literally broken. And we'll cover that in the next video. So if you want to subscribe, this would be the time. This is my favorite card in the deck, Guy in Chair. Like, it's not like the best card, but it's just a funny card to play. And just like Titus from Final Fantasy, you have Costume Closet, which gives you 2 +1/+1 counters. But when you tap it, it allows you to move that +1/+1 counter to another creature. And there's a ton of other cards in here and like your classic Aunt May and all of that. But like I said, I want to keep this part short because his deck was not that great. Is it a fun deck? Is it happy to play? Yes, but you're not going to beat that many people with the deck because the synergy just isn't really that great. Okay guys, let's just cut to the chase. Say hi to Lego Lisa real quick for me. And I had one of my buddies, Eddie, who's not like the world's best deck builder, but he's a good deck builder, help me build the baseline of this Spider-Man deck. But we're gonna take it a step farther because I wanna build the strongest Spider-Man deck, and it starts off with this commander. Let's get into it. Now, there's a lot of people that are really good at Magic and really good at building decks for Magic the Gathering, but there's no one like Charles. So I packed my bags, got to the airport, brought my Magic cards, brought my cat, and took a flight to go see Charles because I don't want to give you guys a good Spider-Man deck. I want to give you what we would consider one of the best Spider-Man decks that not only is really good, but will still allow you to play with your friends and not destroy them in 2 turns because nobody wants to be that guy, but everybody still wants to. But like I said, not only are we going to build this deck, but you're going to watch me play this deck in person to see if what I was talking about was hype or actually a game-winning deck. And like I said, I'm just going to ignore YouTube retention because this deck literally destroyed everybody. So this is my Cosmic Spider-Man deck. Let me know what you think.
It's Wooburg. It's 5 colors. It just costs 1 of each color to cast, the commander. So immediately the concern, which is really a concern with any commander deck, is just producing enough mana of the right type when you need it so you can get your deck to do what it's supposed to do. Especially with your commander abilities that give other spider creatures so many good things. Do you know how many lands you have in here?
I think I had like 33 or 34.
Okay, that's a pretty standard number to have. There's lands like the Sea Gate, for example, which it comes in and you choose a color in addition to blue, and then you can tap it to add blue or 1 mana of the chosen color. There are dual lands out there that have exceptions when they come in tapped. Training Center, for example, enters the battlefield tapped unless you have 2 or more opponents, which pretty much in Commander. You almost always do, especially at the beginning of the game. So something like Training Center is going to be a lot more valuable. The first question is, are you generating enough mana? Then another question is, are you generating the right colors of mana? Along the lines of generating enough mana, in addition to lands, you're going to want to have artifacts. And if you really want to win, then knowing when to mulligan, when to redraw, and get a really good starting hand is pretty important.
Yeah.
The mana rocks or ramp cards will fix the question of, are you producing enough mana?
Okay.
And in some cases, are you producing the right color of mana?
Okay, so that'll solve the Wooburg problem?
Yeah, that'll help solve the Wooburg problem. Another really great card that I'd get in here if you don't have it is Chromatic Lantern, because it makes all of the lands that you have add 1 mana of any color.
Oh, geez.
So even if you just have like 3 green, 3 forests out there or something, then you can make those produce any color of mana. And then this itself you can tap to produce any color of mana. So Chromatic Lantern is a great one to have in there. Another way to address mana ramp and mana production in general is to reduce the cost of things. So there you can produce a lot of mana. You make sure that you're producing the right colors and kinds of mana. But then you can use things like the Water Crystal, which its first ability is that blue spells you cast cost 1 less to cast.
Oh,
so that just reduces all the blue spells that you cast.
That's a pretty fancy looking card, whoa.
But then there's also like the Sapphire Medallion that reduces the cost of blue spells by 1. And this is by 1 colorless. So for your commander that doesn't require any colorless mana, that wouldn't reduce the cost of casting him initially, because you specifically need to have white, blue, black, red, and green for him. But if he ends up exiled and he gets in the command zone, this would reduce the cost of the commander tax. There are crystals for every color too. So with a Wooburg deck like this, I would put a crystal of every color in there.
Oh, geez,
so that if you get 3 or 4 of them out there and you have a multicolored card, then that 4 goes away pretty quickly. Right?
Yeah.
There are cards out there like Coat of Arms, for example. So each creature gets +1/+1 for each other creature on the battlefield that shares at least 1 creature type with it. I don't know what all the spider abilities are among creatures that you have off the top of my head, but I would lean into having all spider creatures. So if you have 6 spiders out there, all of the spiders are going to be +5/+5.
Wait, that's a really good card to add on.
Another thing I'm noticing is not a lot of commander protection. I think you had Lightning Greaves in there, which gives haste and shroud, and that's great. But Swiftfoot Boots would be great so that you have hexproof. And then Darksteel Plate is the classic thing that gives indestructible. And so I've got that in a few different decks like Kalia and our Mirim deck because they get targeted really fast. But a new card that came out pretty recently is Mithril Coat. And it's basically Darksteel Plate, so it has flash, indestructible. When it enters the battlefield, you can attach it to a target legendary creature you control, and the equipped creature has indestructible. It's a little better than Darksteel Plate, because you can just attach it when it comes in and because it has flash. But the other key thing, which we learned earlier, is the no duplicate cards rule in the deck. But with Mithril Coat and Darksteel Plate, they're 2 different names, 2 different cards, and you can have 2 cards out there that are artifacts that are kind of cheap that just give your commander indestructible.
What is that card called?
Mithril Coat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I've been looking for more of these to put in my decks too. Your deck is pretty good. It's a great start.
Would I pass your expectations for this deck?
This is like probably something I'd put together from a new set, and then I'd start play testing it. Now that you have a good idea of what you need, I mean, go track the cards down. You can order them online. That's a good way to get exactly what you want.
Yeah.
I prefer to go to local game stores. Shopping at game stores is a really good way to support local businesses.
Okay.
Most of them are owned by just 1 or 2 people who love games, and that's what they wanted to do.
And I just have a blast going to the actual shop and like physically looking at the card and be like, I can touch that card right now. And I don't know if it's the instant gratification in me, but I just enjoy shopping local. Cool. Well, hey, I'm excited. I'll go shopping and let's crank it out. Let's find the cards now.
I feel like because of Charles, I know exactly what I need to do to build a really strong Spider-Man deck. So now I'm heading over to local game stores to find the cards that he was talking about. And I have quite a bit of a shopping list, but I know that when I get those cards, this deck I think is going to be unstoppable. So at this point, I felt super confident because I knew exactly what type of cards I needed to get, and I started shopping local. I found certain cards that Charles was talking about, but I also found some other gems and created some combos that I didn't even know was possible because I didn't want to make a good deck. I wanted to make a deck that was exceptional because when I play it live in front of other people, I did not want to look like a fool. Whew, okay. Pretty happy with what I got. I did ball out a little bit because I did want to make a Shatterfang commander deck, but I got some other cards that are more like the mana rocks that he was mentioning, and I got some other cards that I think would also work out pretty well with the Cosmic Spider-Man. And the cool thing with Cosmic Spider-Man is that it affects every spider that you control. So everything that I've been looking for have literally only been like spider creatures or anything that had to do with a spider. Now, when you see me playing this deck in real life, you can very quickly see how this can be an extremely destructive deck very fast. Now, side note, most of the squad will be targeting you when you play this deck. But because of the commander and because of some of the cards I put in there, you're gonna be able to hang through the whole entire time. So starting off, because the Magic expert said that I needed to get my mana out as fast as possible, this card is a cheat code. Because if an opponent has more land than me, I can easily just get 3 basic lands, put them in my hand, and then for the rest of the land drops, I'm a-okay. Now again, because it is a Wooburg deck, meaning every single color, I put Rampant Growth in there, and that card basically just lets me put another land on the battlefield. It does come tapped, but again, the whole goal is ramping mana as fast as possible with this deck. Okay, now you guys are gonna hate me for this card. There's absolutely no reason that this card needs to be in this deck. I drew it, and I really wanted to put it in this deck because don't judge me, I do not play cards like these. I just think it's really funny to have. And that's Traumatized. Target player mills half of their library, rounded down. This is a very mean card. And honestly, if you're playing with people that are brand new, or you're playing with people that you may not know, I probably wouldn't use that card. But if you're playing with your buddies, you're just trying to be that guy, or if you're just trying to be unnecessarily destructive, Traumatize is such an awful card. Now this next card is a classic, and another reason aside from it being just a great card, I think the artwork is like insane. You ready for this? And that's Reanimate. And basically what this does is allows you to put any target creature onto the battlefield from any graveyard. It can be your graveyard, someone else's graveyard, it doesn't matter. Typically, I use my own graveyard because most other people don't have spiders, unless I have some certain other cards that I'll show you. And I had the other Origin of Spider-Man, but I kind of prefer the comic version of it because I just think it looks cooler. And why I like this card is specifically for the second part of the saga. And that basically makes any creature turn into a spider hero. So remember when I brought up Reanimate, if one of your opponents played a really strong card and it's now in the graveyard, you can reanimate it, and now you can turn it into a spider hero, which then allows you to give all of the keywords on here. This saga with Reanimate is literally like a cheat code. And I have some instances that just are like protection instants. This artwork is insane. It's Beast Within. Basically, it'll just destroy a target creature and then give them a 3/3 elephant. And it's actually not an elephant, it's a beast creature token, but same concept. And then again, for the artwork, I have Tangle, but not only for the artwork, but this card is ridiculous. It's literally just protects you from literally everything. And on top of that, if you get hit wide, now they have 32 goblins and they hit you with every single one of them to try to give like one final blow. You play this, and now all of that combat damage is completely prevented, but on top of that, every single token creature that they have is now tapped, and now they're wide open. And this next part of the deck I think is kind of broken, especially if you're playing a Wooburg deck, because these are artifacts, and these artifacts are insane. Now I put the Timeless Lotus, the card that I just picked up, but when it untaps, you can bring your commander out by doing that. Because when you tap this, you get literally every single color of mana. This card is ridiculous. Okay, blah, blah, blah. If you thought that card was ridiculous, well, you got yourself your White Lotus tile. But basically, when you tap this, you add X mana, where X is the amount of creatures that you have. Now I listened to the expert's advice, and I obviously got the Chromatic Lantern because this card absolutely needs to be in every single Wooburg deck. Because when you have this card on your battlefield, every single land is whatever color you want it to be. I also put Lightning Greaves, which gives haste and shroud, because again, everybody's gonna come after your commander the minute that it's out. Trust me. You will see. And obviously Swiftfoot Boots. And again, you really don't care about the haste part. It's mainly hexproof. And then a Relic of Legends, which basically allows you to tap for any color. Now there's a few more of those cards in the actual deck, and they basically do the same thing that I already showed you. But I also had to add Web Shooters because this card is annoying. Because when you equip this to a creature, it not only gets a +1/+1 counter, which is like, okay, whatever, but it also gets whenever this creature attacks, tap target creature and opponent controls. Yeah, this card is annoying. Now for the creatures, you can honestly put like whatever creature it is as long as it has spider in its name, because the minute that it has spider in its name, Cosmic Spider-Man does the rest. I'm starting pretty mean, but we're gonna put Radioactive Spider, and the reason why is because it has Death Touch. And again, okay guys, this is really mean, but when your commander's out and you have this guy out, again, because it has Death Touch, this gives it first strike, and this has Death Touch. It's a really mean card. And on top of that, It's literally only 1 mana. But the other crazy part about this card is if you sacrifice it, you can put whatever Spider Hero card you have in your deck, and then you put it into your hand. The next card is a Clever Impersonator. Again, the artwork I think is amazing. And on top of that, this card basically just acts as a copy card. And so if you have certain cards out there that you would like to copy, this card will do it for you. And real quick, you're like, okay, you can't copy that, the legendary rule. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Yeah, this card is amazing in the deck. Oh, and by the way, one other crazy thing, and now we're talking combos, my guy, is when you play this card first, it says whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you may copy it. And let's say your commander, they took it down, and instead of putting it in the command zone, you put it in your graveyard. So you use Reanimate to animate it back out, so now you don't have to pay the commander cost. But because of the enchantment, and you didn't cast it from your hand, you now have 2 of these. And now that you have 2 of these, you can then play Clever Impersonator, which now you have 3 of your commanders that are, it's literally just, it's insane. Now, obviously all 3 of them will not give commander damage, but the fact that you have 3 5/5 Cosmic Spider-Mans coming at you, it's gonna be a rough game. And one of my favorite cards, it's not a crazy card, but Peter Parker. One, because I think Peter Parker is adorable, but it basically buffs every single spider that you have with a 1/1/1/1 counter. And then I have Gwen Stacy, not an insane card. But when you pay her transforming cost, you can transform her to a spider, and now she has everything that Cosmic Spider-Man has, but also has vigilance. So now she can attack without having to tap. Now this creature is one of my favorite creatures from the Avatar deck, and it's not that strong, but what it does allow for is basically makes it a chromatic lantern where you can tap any of your lands for any color that you want. And you're gonna start noticing that a lot of these spiders aren't just spiders, but they're spiders with effects, whether it's land building effects, or creature buffing effects. The reason why is because every single spider is gonna have whatever the commander gives, but if we can add something else to it, then there's no reason not to. And that's another reason why this deck is one of the most strongest decks, and honestly, the strongest deck I've ever built. Now it's time to show you how broken this deck actually is, because I'm gonna play it in real life to show you that Cosmic Spider-Man, even though a lot of people hated the whole Spider-Man, this commander is insane. And by the way, if you're already this far in the video and you like this type of video and you want more videos like this, the best way you can tell me is either leaving a comment below saying something about how you liked the video or what you liked about the video, and subscribing. And not only does it help me figure out if you guys actually like the video, but it helps the YouTube algorithm understand so that it can get this video out to more people. And it's really cool learning from experts and then being able to actually test the deck out in real life. Because people give you deck lists, people tell you what type of decks to build, but they never actually show you how that deck will play. But when you subscribe, you not only get all of that, but now you get to see how the deck actually plays in real life.
So right off the bat, we're playing a 5-person commander game, and the rules for that is a little different than your standard commander, because the people right next to you are not your opponents, but the 2 people in front of you, those are your opponents. So fortunately, Eddie, who is on my left, who helped me build the beginning of the deck, was not my opponent, and the master himself, Charles, who is on my right, was also not my opponent. Now they can attack me, but that would not benefit their own goals of trying to win, because whoever you're next to is not your opponent, but whoever you're across from is.
I've never played this deck in my life, so I don't know the mechanics. He knows. He actually was the guy who kind of helped me build it.
Now I didn't realize it at the moment, but every single person I was playing had extremely strong decks, meaning if I played them with any of my other decks, I would have lost in such a fast time. And the minute that I realized that, I started getting a little worried because I didn't know if my Spider-Man deck would actually be able to keep up.
All right, let's roll to see who goes first.
15. Okay.
Snap. 3.
Right.
So I started off with a pretty good hand, but I immediately ran into the challenge that Charles was mentioning to me about, which was getting the right color mana and getting that fast.
Play land. I'll tap the land.
So rare. Wow.
That's the
Where's the arcane signet?
That's like.
Where's it?
Right.
You got it? No. Oh.
But then I remembered one of the tips that Charles told me.
Another really great card that I'd get in here if you don't have it is Chromatic Lantern. That'll help solve the Wooburg problem.
And it was pretty crazy because when I drew the next card, I knew that I was safe.
Really? Yeah. That's a good deal though.
Turn 2, first draw Chromatic Lantern. Now I was actually so excited that I got this card, but I was also in disbelief. But it also made me realize how good of an expert Charles was, because if I just had one of those cards in my deck, it would be very tough for me to solve the Wooburg problem of needing all 5 colors.
Land you control has tap, add 1 mana of any of your mana pool.
Oh.
What does your commander do?
So if I hit a single creature with an instant or sorcery for damage, she deals that much damage to each opponent.
So I then played a creature just so that I could have a blocker ready to go for action. But I still had a pretty big problem because I had no land in my hand anymore. And in order to cast my commander, I needed at least one more land.
Control deals combat damage to a player draw card.
There you go.
But even with that being a problem, the table started to realize how good my deck actually was.
You're kind of getting a pretty good start here.
But that's when things started to go bad and the table started to turn on me.
Hit orbital plunge on this thing. I'm dealing 6 damage.
What?
Because this is what this deck's made to do.
I have something to say about this.
Yeah, in response.
I don't like the uncalled for brutality.
Fair.
Nothing. So I'm gonna put a +1 on your creature and have it phase out at the same time.
Wait, what,
as that targets him.
Dude.
And that's when my boy Eddie came in clutch. But I didn't realize that he wasn't really doing it for me, because if I got hit, the commander that hit me would deal damage to every person. So not only did Eddie help me out, but he was protecting the whole table.
It whiffs.
It whiffs, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, thanks, bro.
So
We were all about to take 6 damage in a second, I think.
Eddie, I see you.
So now it was back to my turn, and if I didn't draw a land, I'd have nothing meaningful left to do. And then it happened. I drew another land, and because I had the chromatic lantern, it did not matter what land color that was. But this land was a fancy shock land that would let me pick out any color that I'd want.
Then you may pay 2 life. If you don't, it enters tapped. Tap for green, tap for colorless to bring out Spiderman Peter Parker.
That's awesome.
Basically,
So at this moment, I put Spider-Man Peter Parker out so then he could buff up all the other spiders that were about to come out. But on top of that, I had to stop my opponent because he had a really mean commander out that would keep dealing damage to everybody.
I'm gonna be a little mean.
Yeah.
Eddie protected the table once, so it was my turn to pay it back and protect the table
Bring
forever.
out Beast Within, which destroys target permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green, so I'm gonna destroy that. And then you get a 3/3 green.
That's a good deal.
And now for the final step before I turn my engine on full blast.
Oh, you're the Relic of Legends?
Yeah.
Heck?
I drew the ultimate mana dork. This card allows for every legendary creature to be a mana dork. And now everything's in place.
He comes in. Everything that's a spider gets trample, flying, first strike, lifelink, and haste until end of turn. This also gives him a +1 because he's a spider.
Yeah.
I'm gonna attack you with Cosmic Spider-Man.
Okay. And it's a.
It is a
He does have haste.
I'm gonna attack you with Sir Doctor, who also has flying.
Doctor.
First strike, trample, lifelink, haste.
Sir Mr. Doctor.
Service.
So unless you have you don't have anything to block, you don't have a flyer.
Oh, he's flying.
Yes,
And lifelink too?
Yeah, because of
And
that.
lifelink.
Yeah. So it's-
Yeah.
That's
This
crazy.
commander's kind of wild.
That's kind of crazy.
Like when you get him out.
And then it gives him lifelink too.
Yeah, he has lifelink.
And the minute that Cosmic Spider-Man entered the battlefield, the table completely turned on me.
Okay, well, we gotta stop this, man.
He's up to 50.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
And that's when they started teaming up.
You're gonna get hit with flying, lifelink, trample,
All the things.
yada yada.
4 commander,
4 of my commander, yeah.
and then
5 of just regular damage.
What did I do to you, bro?
You did well. That right there.
Everyone was against me at this point because they knew who the real threat was.
here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna deal 4 damage to
Fine.
this guy.
Okay, well, I wanna-
Oh man.
Yeah, it just kills it. If a non-red permanent, I have to sacrifice it.
Okay, wait, let's clean out the garden. That's good.
What's
I
wrong
know.
with my Peter Parker?
It'll be something.
You're gonna like this one far less.
And I get it. This Spider-Man deck is so strong, so I immediately became the biggest threat. But what he did might have been the end of my game because he destroyed the only thing keeping Cosmic Spider-Man up and alive.
And I'm gonna raid this and destroy
That
target
is
artifacts.
messed up.
He took out the chromatic lantern.
That is cruel.
That is cruel. And by the way, since I dealt 4 damage, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And then everyone took 4 damage. And now I knew who my main threat was.
Okay.
Oh,
So I'm gonna I'm gonna tap a green, then
Doesn't
tap
sound like a good friend.
the
yeah, we can play some pretty nasty
to
stuff.
bring Kapow, which is a sorcery. So I get a +1 on any creature, and that creature attack or fights.
Okay.
So I'll have it fight that.
That's crazy.
And I felt pretty bad doing this, but I took his commander out for the second
Now
time.
you have 4 +4
Yeah.
to bring that out.
Yeah.
So I think I'm pretty good on that for a little bit.
Making him have to pay 4 additional mana as the commander tax. But I wasn't done there.
So I will attack you with both of them.
Okay.
So both of them, yeah. So it's 6
6 and 6, right?
Yeah, 6/6.
Doesn't matter which one I chump block.
So then I get
you
12.
And then at this moment, I was taking the whole table by storm.
Can you block a 6/6 with flying, haste, trample?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a 5/4 flyer. So I can either trump block it or I can take it.
That'd be good to get rid of
Okay.
some creatures.
I'll hit you with a 6/6 with flying.
Every
What, you
time
got,
we
21?
like getting down from 53 and then gets right back up to 53.
Yeah, that's probably
Get
crazy.
rid of
for
the-
me.
You
Yeah.
blocked another 6/6?
You gotta
Well, I
do
didn't
it.
block in the first place. I just took the damage.
Ah, okay. So then I'll
But I
attack.
can,
I'll attack
yes.
you with the 6/6. That's
And that's the
commander
commander.
damage.
Yeah.
And now it was an all-out fury between him and I needed to take him out fast.
Spending 2 to cast Galvanize, deals 3 damage to target creature. If you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn, which I definitely have, it instead deals 5 damage. So we're dealing 5 damage. And then I'm casting Plasma Bolt to deal 2 damage. So it's a total of 7 damage.
So it takes it out completely.
Yep,
Yep.
so now it goes in your command zone.
Yep.
So now I have to
Okay, 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep.
But you have the right colors.
Yeah.
Blue, black, white, green,
Red.
red,
Sure.
and then 2. Tap, 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 tap.
He's back. That was fast.
Guess who's back?
Okay.
Yeah, haste.
Spidey's back
I like that
Does have
haste.
haste.
with his haste.
I'm attacking both of them.
5's 11.
guy's
So
fast.
5. I'm at 14.
Whoa!
14 commander damage from him and 3 total life.
Dude.
Okay. I'll pass.
So at this point, before most people even had the chance to play a creature, I had already taken out one of my 2 opponents. And this was by far the fastest deck that I've ever played. But because this was a 5-player game, I made a game-ending mistake.
So he won because of this. Eddie, you couldn't block this.
I don't have horsemanship. apparently.
Eddie, you gotta get horsemanship in your deck, man.
Sorry.
That's what the score was, but because we're playing 5-player, he died. So I had a doing in this.
So little did I know, Charles, the expert who was teaching me how to build this deck, had a secret plan this whole entire time. Because while I was focused on taking out one of my opponents, he was behind the scenes secretly working on taking out Eddie. Because this is a 5-player game, I took out Charles's first opponent, and he finished the job by taking out Eddie.